Hey, you guys, how's everybody doing today? We are here to share some of our experiences on the Anything Show,
Indeed.
where we talk about anything that we feel like it. Anyway, just want to introduce myself. My name is Marley. I am a woman of a certain age, married with two sons, and I have one of my sons here. This is Mez. You want to introduce yourself?
Um, my mom called me Mez, so that's what I go by on this show. But I'm 21 years old and I'm here in Bali with my mom, and we're going to talk about why you should travel and the importance of getting out of your home country and seeing different things.
Certainly, that is quite right. He's munching on some snacks right now, so if y'all hear any chewing, y'all might even hear me chewing because we got some food, some breakfast here in front of us. But it's nice and early, so yeah, it's about 10 o'clock in the morning over here. So we just wanted to share some of our experiences here in Bali, some of the wonderful experiences we've had, and it will probably segment into why it's so important to travel because there's so much out there to see and what could be also hindering people from traveling. um the thing that I like about Bali is I would say the people. The country itself is beautiful. We'll go over a few topics, from the environment to the people to the finances and how you can save and the food and all of that. But what I like so far is the people. The people are beautiful, beautiful people, very nice people. And, Bali is at the very bottom geographically of Asia. You have, Japan, I believe, is at the top, kind of up there at
Yeah, it's
northern.
up there. Hmm.
And you have Korea and you have China and you have, you know, Thailand, I believe. And then you have around surrounding there, you have Vietnam, Cambodia,
Hmm.
other places I may not, I don't have in the top of my brain right now.
Myanmar.
Myanmar, right. And then here, southern region, at the very bottom southern region, we have Bali and its island. And it's beautiful. It's very hot, and the humidity can get since we've been here, it's gotten as high as 60%.
Hmm.
Very, very hot. But I believe it's good for detoxification because you are going to sweat. But I like the environment. It's beautiful, lush, green. There's some parts that's in right next to the water. Where we are in Ubud, Ubud. So there's lots of rice fields here, and we're more inland.
Hmm.
So that's what I have to say about the environment. And did you want to add some things about the environment, the people?
Yeah, we're right in the middle of Bali, and so it's I don't know if it gets hotter here or not. It probably doesn't, but it feels that way because there's no water and no breeze for the most part. For the most part, there's no breeze, and I don't know. Maybe it's something psychological. When you see water, it feels cooler outside,
Hmm.
but in the middle where there's not much water, it's it's very hot and very humid. So you're definitely gonna sweat, and but the rice fields are really nice to look at when you're driving around. You pass a lot of farms. Um, it's just very scenic and relaxing if you're not sweating all the time. So definitely try to find a nice resort or Airbnb that you want to stay at
That has good AC.
that has good AC. Just try to relax pretty much.
Yeah, yeah. You gotta have that good AC. But where we are at a resort um right now. And it's a beautiful resort. Should I say the name of it?
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
say it.
So we are at the Soul Shine Resort in Ubud. And this resort is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. It's like right next door. It's you sit down, you eat breakfast at their Stay Human restaurant. That's what they call the restaurant. Stay Human. And right across from there, it's all these beautiful, lush coconut trees. There's a rice field there. You can see the gentleman out there working on the field. It's beautiful. And the people here, the customer service is beautiful. It's top-notch customer service. Really, really kind people. Anything you need, they're so accommodating and so wonderful. And nobody walks by and doesn't speak, you know? And I don't wait for them to walk by and speak first. I'll speak first sometimes because I see them, good morning. And even though some of them have limited English speaking, and I can't speak, Balinese, or what's the other word for it?
Indonesian. It's
In
just Indonesian.
Indonesia. I,
Yeah.
I can't speak the language. And even if someone doesn't speak the language, you still, nod or, say good morning. And sometimes they may just know how to say good morning. But there's still a way, you can use your Google Translation app. And I noticed that if some are limited in English, if I pull out the app and speak it, no problem. Sometimes they'll read what I put on the phone or they'll listen to it. And then everything is fine. But I tell you, the people here at this resort nice. And that's not to say that the people out in town aren't nice, because they are just very kind people. And like I said before, I don't like saying nice. I always say I don't like saying nice. I like to say kind. Everyone here on this island is so kind. Oh, it's beautiful. If I could live here, I would just stay.
Mm.
I would just stay. But yeah, very, very, very wonderful place to stay. So that was my, I mean, I'm not getting paid for this advertisement for Soul Shine, but I did
Mm.
want to give them a shout out. This is a nice place.
Yeah. And
Beautiful place.
shout out to John, whatever your last name is, because he's the co-owner.
I don't know if it's John. Is it John?
Is it John? It might be something else.
I think it's Michael Franti.
Is it
Michael
Michael Franti?
Franti, I think it is. I think he's co-owner.
Yeah.
But shout out to you. I hope I got your last name right. Shout out to you, because you guys did a wonderful job on this place. So when I visit, this may be the place that I always come to when I come visit Bali, really.
Mm.
But on top of that, we want to tell you also about the different landscapes there are here too, because we went on a Jeep ride to watch the sunrise at the top of one of the volcanoes. And I can't remember the name. I'll mention it somewhere in here once I look it up.
I
But
think it was like Kilowati, not
Kilawati
Kilowati, or
or
Batur.
I think it was Baturi or Batur, Mount
It might
Batur.
have been Batur.
So we went up there and it's chilly up there in the mountains. It had to been about 62 degrees.
Yeah.
Now we're down here where it gets upwards of 95 to 100. We went up there in the morning and it was like 60, about 60, 62, and we were all the way up there off-roading on the Jeep. The gentleman drove us on the Jeep.
Hmm.
And the people are just as wonderful. We went up there, they were out there 4 o'clock in the morning, sitting there with their babies drinking coffee and laughing.
Yep.
And it just sounded so just full of community and family. They sound like they were just having fun.
Yeah, it was probably what, 4 or 5 benches, and it was just a big thing of coffee. And
Yeah.
everyone would just go up there and get their coffee and come back and sit down and have breakfast and talk to each other.
Right.
And I was
Mhm.
surprised because you can't really sit outside at 4 in the morning and eat breakfast in Atlanta. Something bad might happen. So seeing that was kind of a surprise for
Right.
me.
Yeah, it's different back in the States because you can't just be out there 4 o'clock in the morning for real. You don't know what's going to happen. It's a lot going on back home. But here, you could be out. You could literally get a Grab, which is the equivalent of Uber over here. You could literally get a Grab car and you're fine out there at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Mhm.
Nobody's doing anything to anybody. It's not exactly like other places like Bangkok where the city never sleeps. It gets quiet over here because we went to go see the sunrise at 4 in the morning. We were driving up the mountain 4 o'clock in the morning, and driving to get there, nobody was on the road. So
Nope.
this is not the kind of place that
I think
stays awake all night.
it was like 2 sanitary trucks.
Huh?
It was like sanitary trucks
Oh
going
yeah,
up there.
yeah. All the sanitary trucks were out getting ready to do their pickups in the morning.
Yeah.
So, and it's funny because when we were driving, the dogs here,
Oh yeah.
that's a thing. I think I was listening to somebody on TikTok, and they said when you want to The Awkward Traveler.
Mm,
I'm going to give a shout out to The Awkward Traveler on
mhm.
TikTok. I listen to her. She is wonderful, wonderful. But she gave some really good advice. One of the things was she said, when you go to a place, not only look at the infrastructure, but do they have dogs and animals around? And how do the animals look and how are they treated? These dogs here look well fed. They all might have a name. They're well taken care of. They're nice and plump. They're friendly. And you know what? They look both ways when they're crossing the street. They look both ways, y'all, when they're crossing the street.
Yeah, and they get mad if you go too fast or you're breaking the rules. They'll start barking at you.
Right. We were driving, our driver was going. He was going. And that dog, before he got across that street, he barked at that car like, you slow down.
Hmm. Yeah, we were pretty much just about. Actually, I don't know if we want to say he was racing. We don't want to get him in trouble,
Right.
but we were getting there on time, definitely.
Yeah, he was gonna get us there on time. He was
Hmm.
going. He was going. But yeah, the dogs, there's dogs all over and they're so cute and they're so plump, they're well taken care of, not mistreated at all. And they look both ways, but just to tell you, the streets were empty at 4 in the morning. So this is not the kind of place that stays awake all night long.
But it's not unsafe either.
Yeah.
So you can just kind of walk around if you really feel like it.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you're hungry and there's a restaurant down the street, you can just walk there
Right.
and no one's going to bother you.
Yeah.
And plus, a lot of people here too, just like in Bangkok, they just leave their businesses covered up with the tarp with nothing really guarding it because no one does anything. So that's a good sign of safety.
Yeah. Yeah. That surprised me because I was like, back home, they're pulling down gates and
Yeah. Shutters and slammers
right
and
and locking
locks.
everything up because you better not leave anything out. You'll come back and it's gone.
You can't even, they're locking up deodorant in what, Target?
Yeah,
They're locking up
yeah.
deodorant in Target.
Yeah, they're locking up deodorant and black hair care items,
Yeah.
behind glass. And just to get it, you got to get somebody to unlock it. Not here. Everything is out in the open.
Yep.
And I think it's because they go by an honor code. They go by an honor system.
Yeah, they do.
Nobody's going to be stealing. And here I believe they practice Buddhism
Yeah.
and some Islam. Do
Yeah.
they?
Some
Some
Islam.
Islam. So there is an honor system here. In Buddhism, I believe they believe in karma. The way you treat people will come back to you, and they're not just going to go around stealing things because they don't believe in it. There's an honor system here. So they don't use gates and shutters and stuff to lock up their goods and wares if they have like a little cart. They just simply take a tarp and they tie it over and they leave it. They come back the next morning and everything they have is there.
Yeah.
So we don't have that back in the States. So we're already walking around here a little traumatized in our minds, thinking, oh, is that person trying to take advantage? And I'm guilty of that too.
Hmm.
Since we've been here, I'm like, is that person taking advantage of me? Are they, the when we went on a volcano ride, the gentleman took my phone to take pictures of me. And the first thing came to my mind is, oh my God, did he open up my Cash App? Is he trying to take my money? But that was my internalized uh predisposition to being used to people taking advantage and doing stuff like that from back home. That man didn't touch my Cash App at all. But that was my internalized, you
Yeah, and
know,
those were some good pictures too.
and those were some really good pictures he took. So,
You might actually have to frame them. You should
oh
frame
yeah.
them,
Oh yeah, we are definitely gonna have to.
print them out. Maybe we
Hmm.
should get a picture book
Yeah,
too.
that would be good.
Mhm.
But anything else you wanted to add about the Bali? I don't want to do all the talking,
Um,
talk over you.
I'm not really sure how the offering thing goes out here because I haven't researched it, but you'll see a whole bunch of trays of flowers and incense and water
Hmm.
pretty much everywhere. So that's like the honor. That's part of the honor system is the karma and the offerings and stuff. So you see offerings everywhere.
Hmm.
Even, I mean, they're outside of people's businesses on the ground and in the restaurants. I think there's some just outside.
Yeah.
As soon as you walk out of our room, and if you go to the right, there's a little shelf where they just have offerings there too.
Yeah.
And I mean, even when you get in the grab, they have the offerings on the dashboard.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
everyone really practices the same thing, which is kind of part of a trust trusting society, I
Hmm.
guess, when everyone shares mostly the same ideals,
Yeah, the same
especially,
ideal, same religion.
yeah, especially at the core,
Hmm.
where you have trust and kindness and karma. So that's something to look for whenever you go to a different country too.
Right, right. And although our beliefs are different, me and Mez's beliefs are different when it comes to that because they worship, I believe, many gods here.
Yeah.
We worship one God. That's how we do it. But we still show respect to the country that we're in.
Hmm.
We're not going to run around Bible thumping. These people do things different, and we're going to
Yeah.
show respect. We
Hmm.
don't worship many gods. We don't worship their gods. We worship ours, but we still show respect to their beliefs.
Yeah.
You know, um, and they go by a system of honor. But honestly, to tell you the truth, everybody should go by a system of honor
They
and
should.
respect each other and not steal. Whether you worship one God or many gods, you may be a person who doesn't believe in a God. That's neither here nor there. You should still have an honor system of trust and respect and kindness. And that's all I see here on the island of Bali is trust and respect and kindness. And I appreciate that.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, even to the room service, they come and say good morning and how did you sleep and ask if they can come in and just do what they do and then leave.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So, yeah, very, very, very kind.
mm,
And although this is only a small fraction of the countries out there, there's thousands of countries out there. I would say, and I haven't even been to these other places, but I would say that Bali is probably, I know it's going to be probably at the top of my list of
mhm.
places to come to. Definitely places to come to would be right here in Bali. And not just Ubud, but then there's other places. Up on the mountain, like I said, that's just a whole other vibe up there. First of all, it's different because it's chilly up there,
Hmm.
but you get to see that's where people do all the gardening.
Yeah, a lot of gardening because of the volcanic ash
Hmm.
fertilizing the soil, so it's real soft. It's good for the plants.
Yeah, so you can tell that's where they do all their gardening and everything, and they probably bring the produce down here. There's lots of gardens. We saw fields of cabbage and all kinds of look like it may have been squash or tomato.
Oh, eggplant.
Yeah, eggplant. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, it might have been eggplant. So you could tell they do all the gardening up there and
Hmm.
probably bring the produce down here. But it's beautiful up there. It's really, really beautiful up there. And then there's a by the water. There's a town, a city called Sanur, Sanur. That's more by the water. And then there's Canggu, I think it is.
Yeah.
Canggu. That's more by the water too, right?
I'm not sure. I haven't looked at the
Yeah,
map.
yeah. So, but Ubud is supposed to be like for wellness. Your rice fields and lush and plants. So that's more for wellness and meditation and, just really calming. And people always say if you come to, well, I wouldn't say people always say, I would say if you want to visit Asia and you want to kind of de-stress, which to me is kind of de-Americanize, you want to come to somewhere like Ubud. It's really calming, meditation, wellness, health.
Hmm.
You can, because the food where we are from is not the best. It's all the GMOs and stuff. But here in Ubud, they will reset your digestive system. Is the
Yeah.
food is very healthy, very fresh,
Hmm.
delicious. Yeah,
True.
yeah,
And it almost feels like when you come out to a different country that you kind of escape the prison of the states, and so now
hmm,
it's almost like we have to go back in a few days, and I almost feel like I have to get a concealed carry license or something because I
ugh,
don't I don't know how I managed that whole time. And you
right.
see how trusting and nice everyone and kind everyone is here.
Hmm.
I don't know. I might have to post some gun reviews on the anytime anything show.
Man, well, that and a lot of prayer, a lot of prayer.
Yeah.
This is the days and times that you got to trust in your heavenly Father because there's a lot of stuff going on. And it's strange being over here and watching the news going on in America.
Yeah, it seems bad.
Yeah, since we've been here and since we have our new,
The
dude in
guy.
office, 47, I won't
Yep.
say no names, but since we have our new dude in office, things are just escalating and we're watching from over here. We've been traveling between Thailand and Bali for the last 5 weeks. I want to say this is our fifth week,
Yeah,
right?
5 weeks.
This is our fifth week, and it's very strange watching things escalate over there in the States while we're over here, you know? And I don't know how I'm gonna feel getting off of the plane, just going over there, and just getting up in a plane. I'm praying, I feel like I'm gonna need to fast that day just to make sure everything is safe when we're coming in. But it's very strange. It's like things are escalating over there, and yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. Even when we were in Thailand, a gentleman said, "Oh, I saw the California fires." I didn't even know about the California fires yet, and he
Oh
told me
yeah.
about it.
Hmm.
He said California's on fire. I said, "Oh, really?"
Yeah. It's weird. You don't think that I don't want to be like um it's not really disrespectful, but you just wouldn't really think that someone that who hasn't spoken English as their first language would be so in tune with the United States. So it's
Yeah,
kind of it catches you off guard a little
yeah.
bit when they tell you that your country is on fire.
Right, and you go,
So
"Really? I didn't even know."
yeah, you have no idea what's going on.
Man, I would. Yeah, this just goes to show y'all a lot of people from around the world, they're looking at America. There's been a
Hmm.
couple times in Thailand, they were like, "Oh, Donald Trump."
Yeah.
We're like,
Hmm.
"Wow, okay, they really are keeping up with
Yeah.
what's going on in the United States."
Yeah.
So, man, there's a
So
lot going
expect some gun reviews on this YouTube channel
on.
because I'm gonna be
Right.
might be a
You
little
know,
paranoid the first couple weeks.
if it got to be that much of a problem, have y'all bug out bags because you just never know, y'all. There's a
It's
lot going
true.
on. But I don't know. After this, people gonna have to put stuff to tax season is coming up.
Yeah, it is.
If it gets that bad, y'all, get y'all taxes together and do what you gotta do. But you gotta get some kind of business where you can bring money in online because even if you wanted to move to another country, and it doesn't have to be Bali, it doesn't have to be Thailand, it could be anywhere. You have to have your own online business. You cannot come there and work where those people in that country work. You cannot work there. Unlike our country where everybody floods in and does whatever they want to do, you can't do that. You can't do that in these other countries. You have to have some kind of online business for yourself. I don't care if it's drop shipping, I don't care if it's content creation. You have to have something where you're bringing in a good little income, for yourself. Um, I venture to say if you can get something bringing in $1,500 to $2,000 a month, you may just be able to make it, depending on how many people you have in your family, of course. You may just be able to make it in these other countries because in Thailand, you need no more than like maybe $1,500
Hmm.
a month to live as a single person. In Bali, you probably would only need a little bit less because the money goes further in Bali.
Hmm.
Yeah. And their, by the way, their currency is called rupiah. Rupiah.
I hear a lot of people walking around calling it dinar.
Really?
Yeah.
You can also call it dinar?
No, that's a different country. But people
Oh.
just say like I heard people at the bank yesterday saying like take out 1.5 million dinar.
Oh. I
I was
wonder
like,
what
I don't
that's
know.
from.
That's from like the Middle East.
Oh, that's all kind of
So
wrong.
that's very wrong. It's not dinar.
You're right.
It's rupiah.
Uh, to my palm colored folks, can we please get the currency right, y'all? It's
Please.
rupiah.
Also, what was I gonna say? About the businesses, have your business together, but don't really stress out about it too much because that's how you burn yourself out. Make sure you enjoy it. If you
Mm-hmm.
enjoy drop shipping, then do drop shipping, but
Mm-hmm.
you don't have to do drop shipping.
Right.
Even
Right.
if you start off in the first 2 months, you're bringing in $900 a month. doing something that you like to do. It's a start and you can keep earning from there. So don't
Right.
stress out too much about how much you're making at the time.
That's true. Because honestly, even as a single person, even if you brought in only 900 to $1,000 a month, there's places that are nice here that you can actually rent out for upwards of maybe 250 a month.
Yeah, 250 a month.
So if you could imagine getting yourself like a small little studio
Hmm.
for 200 a month or 250 a month in a decent place, because like we said, it's not a bunch of violence going on here, and the infrastructure is beautiful. There are some places on the sidewalk you have to watch where you're walking. It's some of it is a little cracked and messed up, so you do have to watch that part for your ankles and everything, but it's not, a bunch of abandoned buildings everywhere and violence everywhere. You walk out and there's people on mopeds and cars. The traffic might be a little off the chain, but everybody's going where they have to go. Nobody gets upset. They know traffic is there. That's fine. But even if you brought in $1,000 or $900 a month, or even I venture to say $800,
Yeah, you could do it.
you could do it. You could still get yourself a little place for 200 to 250 a month and budget the rest of your money. 250, that leaves you with how much left over? 550,
Yeah,
$500.
I would say with $800 or $900 a month, as one person, of course, you could probably get a decent studio and like a scooter, and that's pretty much all you really need to start off.
Yeah,
So,
if you want a scooter. Yeah. And
mhm.
everywhere you go, I mean, you can walk if you want to, go in the morning when it's a little cooler. The scooters, you can get yourself a scooter, or even if you have to hop on a scooter, what is it,
Yeah, you
like
can
two,
hop on
$3?
scooters. It's not that bad. Yeah, like two,
Yeah.
$3. But I would say that if you're planning on living somewhere long term, don't stay on Grab. Maybe get on Grab for the first month or two.
Yeah.
But just because Grab, it's cheap, but it still adds up. And
True.
there's gonna come a point where you're here for so long that you spent more on Grab than if you would have just got yourself a scooter.
That's true. And they
So
drive on the other side of the street. So you do have to get that special license, right?
yeah, get your international license.
Yeah. And drive on the other side of the street.
Hmm.
But just to gas your moped up is not a lot.
Gas
Right?
is
So
cheap here. I
gas is
think it's
cheap.
like $1 and something.
Wow, a gallon. Wow.
Hmm.
That's not bad, y'all. That's not bad.
Or a liter. It might be a liter
Hmm.
because they do liters out here.
Yeah. So you can pay your rent, and you can, if you budget really good, you can make that $500 last. You can buy street food, of course, go to a vendor that is reputable with hygiene, and don't drink the water here because you can get what's called bali belly, which is, it's a sickness that may happen if you drink the water. You don't want to drink the water from the faucet. You don't want to go to a place that's not hygienic, and be careful with whatever spices they use. It may be a little different. It may not agree with your digestive system, or the spices may take a while to agree with your digestive system. So you want to be careful with the food that you eat, and don't drink the water. But that's a part of your budgeting. You can find a street vendor that has good food. You could find um, little restaurants here that have, food and stuff
Hmm.
that's very affordable. So you can actually make that $500 last you the rest of the month.
Yeah.
And they have stores here, like they have one called Pepitos. Now, if you just need something, from their, shampoo or something like that, they have that there at reasonable prices, and you can make that $500 to $600 last
Yeah.
as a single
Especially if you
person.
don't, sometimes you just have to have ramen. If you're going to have ramen, try to spread it out. Don't eat it every single day.
Right.
Maybe have it once every other day as like a cheat meal.
Mm-hmm.
And that way you're only spending like 50 cents on a meal every
Right.
other day.
Right. But honestly, when you get here, you might find yourself getting things, and you find yourself wanting to eat fresher food. Nothing landed on that, right? I'm looking at the pineapple because I was going to snack on this pineapple.
No, nothing like that.
But there's so much good fruit and good vegetables here, which don't cost that much. You may find yourself getting things that's a little cheaper just because your digestive system wants that, like a fresh smoothie. Or you might find yourself getting a coconut. You can get a young, fresh coconut that's like $1, 25. You may find yourself getting like a cup of fruit. So you may find that you don't want all of that big, heavy food due to the food being so fresh and so delicious, you might find yourself, and nothing wrong with this, you might find yourself on one of those days that you don't really go out in the heat a lot. You may want to fast.
Hmm.
You might even want to fast that day and cut a couple meals out, which is good for your body anyway, helps your body to heal. So you might fast a couple of times out the week, which is even better for money. I'm not saying starve yourself so you can hold on to money, but it's a fast, which is a health part,
Hmm.
could be part of your health regimen
And
living here in
also,
Bali.
fasting means keep drinking water because you definitely need it out here.
Yeah, definitely. And drink lots of water.
Hmm.
Drink lots of bottled water.
Yeah, bottled water.
Lots of bottled water. Keep yourself hydrated. But you could make it work. You could make it work. You might have a business that doesn't bring in a whole lot to start, but you definitely can make it work. And it might even be fun. Make sure you have your visa and your paperwork all together. You know, I think they said they're cracking down on that whole border run thing where,
Yeah, they crack down
yeah,
on it every once in a while. Just be honest with your paperwork, and it's not going to be a problem.
right.
Just because you're in a different country doesn't mean you have to act like Edward Snowden and hop borders every 5 days.
Oh, God.
Just live like a normal person.
Right. Make sure you got your paperwork together. You don't have to, oh, my paperwork's getting ready to expire in Thailand. Let me run to Bali for 3 days because don't
Yeah,
do
because
that.
we see it on YouTube. You're not slick.
Oh, God.
You're not slick at all.
Don't, yeah, right. Somebody's going to know. Somebody's going to be like, we see you were only here for 3 days. Just get your paper, just do your paperwork. That's all. Just be honest.
Hmm.
Honesty is the best policy. Don't try to cut corners. Just do things you're supposed to do and you'll be fine.
Hmm.
You'll be fine. But so some hindrances to why you're not being able to travel. It's the price of things back home in America. The price of things are so expensive. Let me give you an example. It costs us so much to fly out here from the United States. The tickets are so expensive. Just for us to fly back home is like $1,200 a person, I believe.
That's economy.
And that's economy to fly back. But if you're flying within Asia, it doesn't cost as much. It costs upwards of, I think, $250 round trip to fly from Thailand to Japan,
Hmm.
which might be a little bit more from Bali. Maybe it's another $100. Maybe it's $350 round trip to Japan. It's so much cheaper flying out of the United States. That's why people are not able to travel like they really want to because it costs so much just to leave the States.
Hmm.
Once you get out of the States, you can go all over.
We just had kind young gentlemen come to the door
Yeah,
from.
we just had some wonderful gentlemen come to the door. They wanted to know if they could clean the room.
Mhm.
So I kind of forgot what I was talking about. Oh yeah, I remember. So it's so expensive leaving the United States that who wants to have to pay that much money to leave? I'm not saying that Americans don't travel. A lot of us do. But do we get to travel as much as we want to? You know? Um that's why we see people from other countries, their jobs let them go on holiday. We don't care what you're going to do. You're taking this month off and you're going on holiday. It's like their jobs make them. You have to leave your job and you have to go on holiday for a month.
Yeah, and don't come back till the 30 days is over.
Right. Don't come back till the 30 days is over. So that's why all these other people from these other countries, they travel all over the place. You
Hmm.
know, not like in the United States. Who has just $3,500 to just go fly round trip? It's almost unfair, y'all. It's unfair. Yeah.
It's very unfair. And then spending $1,200 per person economy to go back to the States, it almost feels like a
Highway
Hollywood. It feels
robbery.
like a Hollywood humiliation ritual, having to put in your credit card information to do that.
Right. Exactly. It,
So
it's it's too much. It's like
you'd
they don't want to
almost
let you go.
you'd almost rather just take that $1,250 and just spread it over 3 months. But it's always too risky.
Yeah.
That's the thing as well. So they
Right.
make it to where you have to go back for a little bit until you get yourself together.
Hmm. And could you
So
imagine with that $1,200? If
yeah,
you had that $1,200, that 1,200 to $1,500, and you were out of the United States, you could literally travel to two countries and have spending money.
yeah.
But in the United States, that's only your ticket.
There
That's not
was
even including your spending money.
there was people at the ATM. I don't know if you heard them, but
Mm.
they were like, I think the you had to take out at least like $30 or something like that for
Yeah.
the ATM to work. And they were like, $30, that's crazy. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's a lot of money because everything is just so like you can get by on $30 for 2 days worth of spending money.
Right.
So
Right. And you might even throw in a
yeah, and you can
grab
throw a
car.
grab in. We went yesterday. We did a grab that had, was it 3 or 4 stops?
Hmm.
3 or 4 stops. We went to get our laundry dropped off to the store, came back, and then went out again and got a souvenir or two, and then came back. So all those grabs and purchases, I think we spent maybe $65
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
of yesterday.
Yeah. That one car, he waited for us. He did three stops for us and waited for us. And we got our laundry done, y'all. Now, here at the hotel, it costs a little bit. I'm not going to go all into that. When y'all come here to Soul Shine, you determine if you want to get your clothes washed here. It's up to you. But we actually took our clothes out in town. We found the place. I'm going to give them a shout out too.
Yeah,
They are called
backyard laundry.
Backyard Laundry. It's called
Yes.
Backyard Laundry. They're about 6 to 7 minutes away from the Soul Shine Hotel. And they washed two small bags of laundry. Each bag of laundry had to have been about 10, 15 pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah. For $12. They washed all that clothes for 12 USD. Folded and smelled so good. I've never smelled laundry like that before. They smelled
And
like
dropped it off.
and yeah. Now they will pick up and drop off your laundry for free. But I couldn't call on my phone because for some reason my phone won't let me call out to Indonesian numbers, even when I try to call through Wi-Fi. It would not call. And I didn't have their WhatsApp app number, so she couldn't pick it up. But she did drop it off to us. And that was express. We got the laundry done same day.
Six
Same day.
hours.
6 hours, same day. And she dropped it off. And what did you say the clothes smelled
It
like?
smelled like some kind of dessert.
The clothes smelled like dessert. It smelled so good.
Mm-hmm.
Even after I put the clothes away, my hands still smelled like it smelled so pleasant. Like so I could still smell it on the clothes. The clothes smelled so good.
Yeah.
12 US dollars for your laundry.
And that was for 2 people. So
And that was
six
for two
dollars per
people.
person.
Right.
Express.
Right. So that just goes to show if you were here and you had that $500 to spend throughout the month, if you didn't have a little washing machine, if you have a little washing machine in the studio, you could just hang your clothes to dry, then that's even more of a cost savings for
Yeah.
you. But if you have to get your clothes washed, you can just factor that in and say that's $24 out of that $500 that you would budget for your laundry if you got if you got them washed once per week.
Mm-hmm.
Just subtract that $24 from your $500.
Yes.
And then don't forget, you also have other things that you have to get, your, what is it, for your phone or whatever. So,
Oh
I
yes.
don't know, y'all may
SIM
have to
card.
make a little bit more than $500.
No, because if you don't leave the country with a locked phone. Make sure you have an unlocked phone before you leave, because there's apps that'll let you get a international SIM for like $7 a month for like a gig of data. So it's pretty affordable if you just plan it out right. But don't come with an AT&T locked phone because they're greedy and they're gonna take. I think it was $12 a day
Wow.
internationally,
That's crazy.
and then $6 a day for each additional phone that's on your plan that uses international data.
Wow. You see that?
So just make sure you get a little Huawei or an Oppo or something,
Mm-hmm.
and just use that.
So you can still budget with that 500 and make it work.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And then we also got manicures and pedicures while we were here. Now, Mez got the man's manicure and pedicure. which is just cleaning up your cuticles and filing the nails down and cleaning them.
I got the Bernie Mac.
He got the Bernie Mac.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they got buffed.
Did they? I don't think they did.
No. So he got the Bernie Mac special. Shout out to Bernie Mac, one of the greatest, Uncle Bernie. And then I got my toes painted. And one thing that I noticed that I liked here when they did it, they didn't put your feet and your hands in water. I've always felt kind of icky with putting my feet in a little bucket. And honestly, I have not patronized any of the nail shops over there due to treatment that I got at the last one I went to. And when I say I haven't been to one, I haven't been to one in probably 10 years. Like, I'm keeping my money. I just don't play like that. I'm not going to frequent a place and not feel respected. And yeah, it may be a certain demographic that I'm talking about. Love y'all, but I'm not going to go through it. But when we went here, they do everything dry. Like, they spray your hands with alcohol for sanitation, sanitary, sterile. They spray your feet with alcohol. Alcohol dries fast, but it cleans up the germs. And then they use the little pumice stone on your heels, which is actually better when your feet are dry than when they're wet. And they pay attention to detail. They do your cuticles. They clean your nails. She did such a wonderful job. And how much did it cost? $25?
$26 a person.
$26 a person, y'all, for a manicure and pedicure. Now, daggone well. Yeah, I'll take some. We're just drinking a little water, staying hydrated. But daggone well, $25 over there, especially if I got my toes painted. No, it would not have cost just $25. So this just goes to show the cost savings. Cost savings. Now, if you wanted to get a manicure and pedicure off of that $500, I'd probably do it every other month.
Or just clip your own nails.
Really. But if you wanted to treat yourself, you wouldn't have a hard time saving up $25.
No, I think the range is you make $800 to $900 a month. You need to make sure your place has a washer and that also you have a nail clipper and nail file. And
there you go.
Also, you probably want to look into getting a scooter.
There you go. Yeah.
Once you hit, it's a wide range. I'd say probably once you hit $1,200 to $2,000 a month, then you can just start taking grabs. You can probably get your manicure and pedicure every month. You can get your laundry done.
Right.
Pretty much anything over $2,000, and you pretty much you can get a penthouse if you wanted to.
Yeah. Money goes longer. Money goes longer here in Bali.
Yeah.
It does. You could live like a king. Really, you can. Like a king or a queen. But yeah, it's really nice. So we talked about the hindrance due to the price of the plane tickets, which is ridiculous leaving the United States. But another thing we're looking at is the price of school.
Yeah.
The price of college, y'all. How are you expected to enjoy what you make on your first job after you graduate from school if you have to pay back $200,000 for school if you had to get school loans? The price of some of these universities is so incredibly ridiculous that I'm insulted. I feel like I'm paying for these people and their children's education to go to Harvard and Yale and out of the country. And I feel like we're paying for their yachts and their vacation homes and their expensive mansions. And they expect you to pay $40,000 to $80,000 a year for college. When we're looking at other colleges outside of the country, and it's like the most I've seen is $4,000 a year. The cheapest I've heard was $683 a year for college.
Yeah. I was in a architecture program, and it was fun, but it was I want to say after financial aid, I was still paying probably $200 to $300 a semester just in leftover. Actually, no, that was financial aid and VA. So I don't know how much a year it would have been without it, but with it, it was still probably, I don't know, $2,000 plus per year. So I was getting all the assistance and benefits, and I'm still paying out of pocket.
Right.
So, but now I'm looking at electrical engineering degree somewhere, and the school's prices are just off the chain in the States. You're looking at, if you want to do a fully online degree, they have one, and it's $80,000 a year.
Crazy,
So if
crazy.
I mean, if you have $80,000 a year, then go ahead. But I'm sure 99% of everyone doesn't have $80,000 a year just for school.
I mean, that
So
is ridiculous. You are a college student just coming out of high school. How do you have $80,000 a year? And how do they expect your parents to just have 80,000 lying around? To me, that is a university that cares nothing about the students. They don't care how you're going to pay for it. They don't care that people are going broke trying to pay for the school. They don't care that people are taking out loans and they're coming out of school with $300,000 worth of debt. They absolutely don't care that now you have to pay back all of this money and you can't even enjoy your check that you get on your first job. How are you expected to get your first home? How and so that just goes to, how are you able to travel?
you can't.
You can't travel anywhere. You can't go anywhere. And then even after you pay that money back, if you're able to get a house, now you're in a 30-year loan.
Hmm.
Now you're paying for the house. You're paying that big mortgage. And the price of houses is going up more. What they say, the boomers, what are they doing now? The boomers are,
They're getting their pensions and buying the houses
so
again.
they're making the price go up more.
Hmm.
So to me, y'all need to get out. We all need to get out because it's getting to be too much. You can't go anywhere.
Yeah.
You're trapped.
Even the school I was at had a summer international semester that you could do, but it was $10,000 to $15,000 out of pocket. With, I mean, you can't use VA for that, and you can't use financial aid for that. So if you have $10,000 to $15,000 for 3 months, then go ahead and do it. But I don't have
Five
that.
thousand
So
dollars a month.
especially if you're a college student and you want to be self-sufficient, or maybe you have no choice but to be self-sufficient, there's no way that you could do that on top of paying for tuition every year and housing and gas, groceries. It's just not going to work.
It's not.
You're better off, I think, if you're self-sufficient and you're looking at going back to school, just go to trade school or do something like that, because it's not, none of these degrees are worth it anymore.
No.
And then also
Only if
after
you can
you,
afford a specialized one.
yeah, and then after you get that degree and you're $500,000 in debt, you can't really find a job anymore. So pretty
Yeah.
much just good luck. That's
Yeah.
what they tell
Everything
you.
has just worked against the people.
Yeah.
Everything has worked against the people. So congratulations, y'all are helping to get rid of the middle class. It's gonna be the
Yes.
haves and the have nots. And who wants to live in that kind of society, honestly?
Hmm.
And that's another thing I noticed about, speaking of have and have nots. Just when we were in Thailand and then being here in Bali, this is a society, they don't rely on um, the West.
No.
They don't rely on they don't go looking to the West. And you remember they're part of BRICS,
The West is
Indonesia.
just entertainment for them.
Right.
So,
And then remember Indonesia is part of BRICS. So they're
yeah.
like, forget what you talking about. We're gonna do what we gotta do for us. These people here don't here in Bali, they don't depend on the West for anything. They're good. They are self-sufficient. It might not be an island full of doctors and lawyers and millionaires, but everybody has and everybody is happy.
Hmm.
They have the kind of society where I don't see where anybody's looking down on anybody. Everybody's out there. The guys, they're out there doing blue collar work. They're building their houses. You have some of the women that's working in hotels. Some of them are cleaning. You have teachers, of course, because you have the school buildings. But everybody is happy, and even people that don't have as much as other people are still helped to where they have exactly what they need.
Hmm.
That's why there's not a lot of violence over here because there's nobody just destitute and on the street and feeling like they have to go steal or anything like that. Everybody is happy. And it's kind of sad because back home, the homeless thing is just not good at all. And the way we treat our homeless is not very good. Scripture says there's always going to be a poor segment of the population. There's still a certain way that you're supposed to treat the poor,
Hmm.
and they don't do that very well back home.
I had a thing I was thinking about not too long ago where I was thinking about how come so many US citizens aren't taking care of the poor, and it's because everyone's in debt. So you can't really give what you don't have.
Hmm.
And even when you want to, you drive past a homeless person, they're turning it into a cashless society. So no one really has cash anymore either
Right.
to give to them.
You don't even have cash to give to them.
Hmm.
And it's been proven that people that don't have as much tend to give more to the poor than people that do.
Yeah,
The rich, they don't give. They
they
don't they
don't
don't
give.
tip. They don't give.
Mm-mm.
It's people who don't have as much where, I might have $3. If I see somebody, I'm gonna at least give them one. This rich person walks by and they got a whole mansion, they give nothing.
Hmm.
That's how the rich stay rich. So that's how it is back home. But I don't know. Things are escalating, but it's escalating in the way of, shoot, when you get your, and then they're even talking about people don't know if they're going to get their taxes on time. You get your taxes on time, do what you have to do to take care of you. And if you can't leave the country, just pray and do what you have to do to take care of your family. If you can leave the country and you are able to sustain yourself, I don't even know if I could say rely on your retirement if it's a pension or social security, because who knows how that's going to go.
Yeah,
But if you could be self sustaining and get yourself something online and you can get out, I would suggest you do so. Find a place that you have researched, find a place that you know you're going to be happy at. If you have visited that place before, you might want to even go back.
it's funny because we have to go back in a few days, but every time I get on Twitter or Instagram, some of the first posts I see are, I need to get out of here and go to Southeast Asia.
Mm,
Just about every time. Or China. They're talking about going to China too.
right.
So it almost feels kind of sad that we have to go back, but there's things that we have
Really.
to take care of
Yeah,
first.
that's
So
true. That's true. Like it's stimming.
yeah.
But yeah, I'm not too crazy about going back. But my other son, my younger son, and my husband, they are back there. So they had to leave a little earlier. And we decided to hang out for a little while longer. It's kind of hard to get an appreciation for a place you've never visited before if you're only there for a week or two. So we've really gotten an appreciation for Thailand, and especially Bali, at least for me. And to me, I know people say the food in Thailand is good. Don't get me wrong, it's good food. The chicken
Hmm.
is off the chain. They know how to fry a piece of chicken thigh like
Hmm.
no other. It's really good.
Gotta go to grandmama house.
Yeah, they got a place over there called, what's it called? Mom's Touch.
Hmm.
If y'all go to Thailand, go to Mom's Touch for some chicken. Y'all gonna love it.
Hmm.
Mom's Touch. Um, and but to me, I prefer the food in Bali. It's a little different. It's very fresh, lots of fruit. They have the nasi goreng, I think is the rice with egg on top,
Yeah.
and then the mai goreng, which is like rice noodles with the egg on top.
Hmm.
That's the kind of stuff that I like, and I really couldn't find that over there in Thailand. So that's why I say I'm not saying Thailand food is not good.
Hmm.
Um,
I'm sure there's good pad thai in Thailand, but
yeah,
the pad thai that I had was kind of mid.
yeah, and part of the reason is we don't eat shellfish and we don't eat pork, and there's certain things that Mez can't eat. So when we ask them to make alterations to the pad thai, that's probably what made it not taste as good. Because over there they use like powdered shrimp. We don't eat shrimp. So there's certain things that I told them not to put on, and it probably ended up not tasting like pad thai at all because of the things I changed.
Hmm.
So that's probably why I can't have an appreciation for real pad thai, because it was my version of pad thai, which wasn't good at all. So it wasn't their fault. But here in Bali, they really take account into what it is you can't eat. And some things do have pork, but being that they have also a Muslim population, they do have, like the pizza we had last night had beef pepperoni. That was probably the best pepperoni I've ever had. Beef
Yes,
pepperoni. It was very good.
it was very good.
Um, but yeah, Yeah, that's our experience. That's our experience here in Bali. Um, Maybe one of these days we're hoping that you would be able to visit if you want to, but that's just some things here in Bali that we appreciate and that we love about here. So, yeah, yeah, we
Yeah.
really like it.
And when I go back, I'm probably going to start making a list of places that I want to
Hmm.
go. And I'm honestly, I was looking for jobs back home before, but now it just seems so, it seems more like a dead end now than ever. So definitely just going to be doing online stuff for now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Might as well. Might as well. That goes into your digital nomad. Uh oh, should I cover up the bread?
Yeah.
And hey, y'all, we got a little fly here. A little fly.
He's actually kind of polite. He sat on the pillow so he could pick up the fork and knife and probably eat.
Even the flies here are polite. Like if
Mm-hmm.
they see you over here by the food, they really not gonna try to jump on your food because they see you sitting by it. So they gonna wait off to the side. As soon as I got up, he came and sat on the pillow, like, okay, y'all coming back? Yeah, they coming back. Even the fly was polite. He's not
Mm-hmm.
really jumping on the food.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
hilarious. But
Mm-hmm.
oh gosh, what was I getting ready to say? I was getting ready to say something about.
I said something about jobs and online
Yeah, so I would say
business.
that's going into like your digital nomad. If you finish college and you know, most high willing, you're able to pay back the school loan because Sally Mae is gonna come find you if you don't. But if you're able to pay that back and you can get a job that allows you to travel internationally, I would say get yourself a good laptop and travel internationally
Mm-hmm.
because your money, your US dollar is going to go long. I myself do what you want to do. I myself don't recommend staying in a place where your dollar is not going to go far. That's all I'll
Yeah,
say.
true.
I'm not going to bad word or bad mouth the states, but don't stay anywhere where your dollar won't go long.
Mm-hmm.
Be able to travel.
Yeah, definitely.
Be able to see what's out there. Don't get stuck. Don't get locked in to where you cannot get out and see that there's so much more than just where you're sitting at right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, um, who wants to just work their whole life, get older, and then get to the point where you can't travel? And if you do have to wait till you get older, travel then and stay active. Use your time to travel then and stay active, but get yourself a little something online.
Yeah.
Yeah, just you and your laptop travel. And if you have a family and you can do that, travel with your family while your children are young. It would be so beneficial for your children to just, people say, oh, you need stability, you need to stay in one place. There's nothing wrong with having your children see. I think there's a young lady on YouTube. I forgot the name of her channel, but I believe she has two sons and she travels internationally with them. And they seem to be very well rounded children because they've gotten to see other cultures and other people in other places. You don't always have to sit in one place.
Yeah.
Remember in the Bible, they were always traveling.
Mm-hmm.
Every time you saw them, they were packing up their donkeys, their camels, their handmaids, their maidservants, their children, their wives, and they were traveling. They didn't just sit in one place, they traveled.
Yeah.
Travel, y'all, while you're young. This to my young folks and my older folks.
Mm-hmm.
Travel.
And I think one of the best ways to do the digital nomad thing is there's like a triangle of things you can do. And mom, you know how they have the triangles? It's like for manual labor, it's like you can get it fast and cheap but not good, or you can get it fast
Yeah.
and good but not cheap.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
like that for business where it all falls under creativity, information, or just business. So it's not really a you can only have two kind of thing, but that's kind of the three categories that stuff you can do falls under. So me personally, I like to do the creativity and information. I was into the business before, but it just doesn't it feels more like a chore to
Right.
me. So I'd rather kind of provide value and
Mm-hmm.
then get monetized later because I enjoy providing value.
Right.
But
Right. Like providing value by like words of
yeah,
edification.
words of edification,
Right.
information. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, just being creative in
Hmm.
general.
And
So
you can share it with the world.
yeah,
Yeah. Information is worth nothing if you keep it to yourself.
yeah,
You got to share
exactly.
it with the world.
Hmm.
So, and this is the time of information in these days and times we live. We want to share information with other people. So we want to share our experience that we've gone through over here, and hopefully people will take heed and say, okay, yeah, I need to get out there while I'm young, or now that I'm getting ready to retire, I need to get out there and see what's in the world. You know, there's other ways to live than we've always been traditionally told. These are different days and times we live, and things are changing, and there's so much more out there. Yeah. I wish I didn't get to this age and just find this out, but there's no time like the present. And I'm glad that Mez is knowing this at this time, and that his brother back home is learning this at this time. And that, my husband, he's learning this at this time, starting to realize some things going on. And a lot of people.
Yeah.
So,
So I feel like I'm in a position where things are starting to change real fast. So there's only but so much you can do. You can't make time pass faster or anything, but it's gonna happen at least once where something happens and you got to figure it out real fast. So
mm-hmm.
I didn't think it happened to everyone at first. I was like, I'm fine. I'm just gonna stay in my architecture program and everything's gonna be fine and smooth and easy. And that was not the case. So I'm not really scrambling around trying to find something to do, but just knowing that you're in that transition period in your life is good enough as long as you just make good decisions and do what you have to do and don't be lazy, and that's how people become bums. So
That's true.
mhm.
That's true. Don't be lazy. Get up, get out, and do something. Shout out to CeeLo Green.
Yeah, shout out to CeeLo
Shout out
Green.
to CeeLo.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but we enjoyed sharing this experience with you guys. So we will be back with other topics. But we just wanted to share this. So look up the places that I mentioned. The Soul Shine Hotel, Backyard Laundry, Mom's Touch restaurant in Thailand. Just
Hmm.
check those places out and see what y'all think. So, and y'all can give your own reviews about it. So,
Also in Thailand, Chop House. Mom didn't go there, but I went there and it was great. So I'd recommend Chop House as well.
there you go. There you
Mhm.
go. All right, y'all. Well, we will check y'all later, and we hope you have a good one. Enjoy the rest of your day or of your evening. Bye bye.
Yes. Bye.